Democrats fled the state on the talking point that white or Anglo representation or representatives dilute the voices of minority districts and constituents.
This legislature is consistently been found to be guilty of doing, which is to make sure that they can do an overemphasis of Anglo voices in this state. Only 40% of this state is Anglo, yet somehow we have more than 60% of our seats that are elected by Anglo majority districts. As I said in 2021, as I argued against these maps, the math ain't mathing.
Number one, that's racist. Number two, if that's true, why would you send Congresswoman Julie Johnson in to run for District 33, especially knowing that there's at least one minority running for that seat already? By your own definition, you are, in fact, racist. But that's not all.
Right now, under the proposed maps, they want to make it to where Texas only has 2 districts in which African Americans have an opportunity to choose their representation. What does that mean for Black voices in Texas? That means that it is approximately 1/5 the voting strength of their white Texan neighbors. That is what it's going to be. Not 3/5, but we are going to be reduced to 1/5.
Do you see how none of this makes sense? None of this makes sense. Nothing changed. You lost no rights as a voter. They made incumbents uncomfortable. That's the only change. That's the only change in this map. They made incumbents uncomfortable.
As I look around the room of white men, I think about my dad.
So while we wait on representatives like Mark Vesey to announce his retirement.
Hey, here in Austin today, fighting this crazy power grab that Donald Trump has instructed and told these subservient Republicans to do when it comes to redistricting. This is crazy that these people are skinning and grinning and smiling and being servile to Donald Trump.
While we wait for Congresswoman Crockett to admit that she is in fact staying in her district.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot mess, honey. So,
While we wait for Congresswoman Julie Johnson to completely contradict the majority of their talking points from this summer and run for districts like District 33.
Republicans are waging a cultural war on anything they cannot control.
Because she is too scared to put up a fight in her own district. While we wait for this court date to go in front of a panel, which by my research and my resources tell me that 2 out of the 3 are Republican. While we wait for all of this to cool down, I just want to remind everyone, all they had to do was come and knock on your door. And here's the thing. The numbers didn't change about much. For instance, if your district changed by 200,000 people and you still have 500,000 people staying in your district, but you can only pull out 100,000 people on average during a general election, why are you whining?
raise your hands. You're not. We done picking cotton. We are. You can't pay us enough to find a plantation.
So I need you to actually practice what you preach and have boots on the ground, like you said you did, and actually engage this community. But instead, you paid protesters to speak on behalf of a map that they don't live in, can't vote in, when you could have just knocked on doors, sent out flyers, called people, your constituents. to speak on behalf or against these maps.
And you need to get to redrawing their asses out. That's the message that needs to be sent. And to these other blue states that are out there with these blue governors and blue state legislators, I don't want to hear about this bullshit about what y'all's constitution. Y'all need to have a special session. And you need to get to redrawing their asses out.
When you are a passive politician like Mark Vesey, in office for over a decade, and only 1 out of 11 cities know who you are, that's not really an option. Donald Trump, if you are watching this by chance, President Trump, please make a national voter registration system. And it's not my idea. I can't take the credit. No. My soon-to-be opponent actually made this talking point. She made this stance.
If you had a national voter registration system, then maybe all this interstate moving could be addressed. There's things that we should be debating to improve the system, and I'm here for that all day long.
And you know what? That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Let's make a national voter registration system. Let's do it. Please, let's do it. President Trump, did you see all of those governors prior to the election last year? All of those governors having to purge their voter rolls? This would be the only secure way to actually know that our systems are not rigged. And it's just the fact that a Democrat gave us the idea. If he decides to do this, they are going to lose their mind. Only because it's him doing it, though. The TDS is crazy. But anyway, President Trump, go ahead and send in the troops to North Texas. I don't know if you guys heard about the beheading that happened off of Samuel.
Now being charged with capital MURDER and being held without bond. He is also being held on an immigration detainer as he is a Cuban national.
Anyway, my vote is not worth 20%. It's still worth 100%, but I will take your other 80 if you don't want it. If you don't want to take your 80% of your vote, I'll take it. Go ahead and give it to me. My vote still counts. It's still the same. Your vote still counts. It's still the same. Don't feed into this narrative because I know the local media is definitely feeding into it. District 33, when I knock, open up. And always remember that you can keep up with my progress at notaxingwithjackson.com.